Some of you may have read the title of the movie and thought, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. But I want you to understand what just happened in this market today. It was a very important day. Today is one of those days that affects more than just crypto, so we should all pay attention. It has an effect on our possible new borrowing rates. It changes the amount of interest we pay on loans. It doesn't even have to be a debt. It could be about any kind of debt. Yes, it is very important for crypto prices on days like today. That is true. It is very important for crypto's funding. But more seriously, it's very important to keep in mind for everyday life. We are now in a sea of green, as you can see on the daily view. Some of these gains are not crazy. Yes, they're not crazy, but this is a great start for the old coin market to go up a lot. When we look at the weekly chart again, we can see that many of the old coins we love have still made very small gains, like HAR, which is up 3.5%. XRP is up 3.3%, and XLM is up 2.7%. There are, however, still some great examples that have gone up a lot in the last week. Do not worry about the fact that your old coin has not moved much in the last week. This is just the beginning for old coins to break out and possibly have a crazy new run to new all-time highs. Based on the title of this movie, it looks like the Federal Reserve is about to really make prices go up. No, we're not just talking about certain old coins. No, this market as a whole will reach new highs. Now, not every old coin will hit a new high point. That's what I want you to get. But the total three should reach a new all-time high. Some people should also set a new record high. Everything will move up on the charts because of this. It's going to be a very exciting time as most old coins reach new all-time highs. Taking a quick look at the market itself, Bitcoin is worth 117,700, Ethereum is worth 4,600 or more, and XRP is back to $310. Bitcoin is the main thing to pay attention to here. The daily was up 1% and the weekly was up 3%. It may not seem like much, but hey, almost $188,000 in Bitcoin. It has almost completely gone back up from the lows to the highs it had before. This is very exciting to see. In addition to all of this, what did the Fed do today? Yes, we all know that the Fed lowered interest rates by 25 basis points. Rates are going down for the first time this year. Now, the general prediction is that rates will be cut by another 50 basis points in 2025. It might only take 2 more 25 basis point rate cuts to fix the problem. I still think that a 50 basis point rate cut in October and another one in December will be very interesting. It's a difference of 1.25%. Does this now happen? Right? We don't know. I'm just guessing. Like I said, it could be as easy as cutting rates by 25 basis points in October and December, just like we did in September. That being said, the most important thing to keep in mind is that the Fed is becoming very disjointed. This is because Governor Lacker is in favor of a 50 basis point cut today. Fed says there is a greater chance that jobs will be lost. 6 Fed officials think that rates will not go down again in 2025. 9 Fed officials, on the other hand, think that rates will be cut twice more in 2025. The Federal Reserve is now putting all of their attention on the job market. At this point, they don't care about inflation, which is why the rates were lowered today. As you may know, CPI data has been showing that inflation is back and should likely go up. Not a surprise, right? At the same time that inflation is going up, the M2 stock is growing to the upside. Who knew? As we said before, though, the fact that the Fed is turning its attention back to the job market shows that we will probably see 2 more rate cuts by the end of the year. Now, the Fed is completely cut off, right? Yes. 6 Fed officials say there won't be any more rate cuts, while 9 others say there will be 2 more. There's a lot of chaos going on at the Fed. That proves they are not organized. They're not stuck together. It seems like there is no link at all. But once more, this shows that chaos is coming. The most important thing to remember is that we make money, we take our gains, and I still believe we have moonbags. I still believe we should put our money into gold, silver, and other similar things, since I believe 2026 will be a very rough year. In some of these markets, I also think it will be very interesting, but the short term is what we're mostly interested in. Short-term trends are very positive. And now, if we look at the crypto market, it's already worth more than $4 trillion. Now we're back at those old highs, 4.09 trillion. Back to 51, fear and greed. The old coin season score is 73 out of 100. Once more, this is a very, very strong market bounce. The market cap of crypto is almost back to its all-time highs. The fear and greed are coming back in a big way. We're still at 51, even though the market is going up and down fast. It wouldn't surprise me if this went back up to that level of greed, but this shows that the market still has a lot of fuel to go up, no matter how people feel about it, since we're still in a neutral area, even though we should be pretty bullish here. Also, the old coin season index. It's true that old coins are still very strong against Bitcoin. That's why I still think we should pay attention to the old coin side of the market and buy altcoins that are going down or that don't have much going for them. Just taking a quick look at a few things, the S&P started to drop today because of the news, right? We had some changes. We got about 6,550. The day ended at 6,600. Why is this important? Because we are starting to see some downward divergence. That's because the S&P is continuing to rise in value at the same time that the RSI is beginning to fall from its July highs. What's important is that, yes, when it comes to stocks, does it help us that stocks are going up 100%? I think stocks will get a little boring in the short run, though. I believe there will be a greater pullback and then prices will start to fall until there is a much bigger bounce on the S&P. I believe we will reach over 7,000 by the end of this year. Still, I'd like the S&P to get pretty dull here. I'd like to see it drop and then chop around before it goes back up to the highs. This is because, and I'm sure you guys saw my video from the other day, if the S&P starts to get boring around this time, the crypto market should start to grow to the upside. There are 3 days and 21 hours left until the end of the week. The most important thing about this is that we're getting past all of that August opposition. We had a strong run to $4.17 trillion, but now we're breaking over the highs we hit at the end of the week. It will also be a higher time frame that ends at a new all-time high.